Hey everyone, how's it going? For years I've enjoyed the flawed but majestic experiences spawned from the magic of the Source engine. Its handling of the physics, the environments, the indescribable sense of atmosphere that you feel in them that is unique to other games that I've played. Some of my favorite games of all time come from this engine, and a lot of it was in part to the foundations of the first Half-Life game. The first Half-Life game I felt was an answer, a sign that not only could you design and realize fast-paced gameplay that was fun, but also interwove a rich and interesting world with a good story behind it. It existed at a time when the FPS genre was finally beginning to spread its wings beyond the scope of kill enemies on the map, grab keys to exit the level, rinse and repeat like in the classic Doom games. While I can enjoy this type of gameplay in certain titles that I personally love, anything else that comes after it will have to do a lot more to impress me. This is why I looked at games that were more like Half-Life than games that were like Doom and Quake, especially in the retro shooter scene. Fun gameplay and rich world building and storytelling sound a lot more appealing to me nowadays. The Half-Life series has this in spades and also has created some of the most memorable and atmospheric set pieces in any shooter that I've ever played, and I'm glad that more indie shooters are looking beyond just, like I said, being a Doom and Quake clone. In any event, this isn't going to be a Half-Life 2 review, although that will be in the works at some point, but instead I wanted to start exploring some of the fan-made creations within the Source engine that uses games like Garry's Mod to create interesting narratives within the sandbox that game provides. The spectrum of fan-made projects in the Source community is dynamic and expansive, from mods, SFM animations, fan games, total conversion projects, even fan films that have done their best to keep the spirit of Half-Life alive. While we do have Half-Life Alyx continuing the story somewhat, it's uncertain if there will be another follow-up anytime soon. In this video though, I am going to look at a specific fan-made project that meshes two entities together and creates a new and terrifying narrative within a world that's already decayed and dying. This is the crisis of Xen Rabies. These videos and this project comes from the user HYPERBOREA on YouTube, one of many content creators dedicated to the exploration of Half-Life's universe and its secrets. Fan-made ideas can often be out of bounds and not quite gel with the continuity or logic that the universe of Half-Life operates on. But the idea of a rabies-like virus with alien properties presents a more dangerous version of a virus that unfortunately exists in real life. Based on the creator's response to my question regarding the existence of a storyline, the premise of Xen Rabies from what I could gather is this. When the Combine invaded Earth and began the 7-hour war in Half-Life 2, a mutation of rabies had developed during a portal storm. While the humans were being overwhelmed by a multi-dimensional empire, a test facility was breached due to the portal storms running rampant in the world. Supposedly, its energy and anomalous properties had created a reaction to the virus and had created a new variant in the process during the outbreak. So now the humans that were subjected to an oppressed and stagnant state by the Combine now has to deal with the existence of this new virus that would, like I said, break out and begin infecting anything that it touched. Various sources have stated that the incubation period of rabies can range from a week all the way up to a year depending on the individual. When the symptoms finally emerge, you're pretty much dead and it's over. But this version of rabies in this fictional piece, I'm going to assume develops significantly faster in the individual and creates the kind of infected that you see in a movie like 28 Days Later. Amazing film, by the way, go watch it. As a result, the Combine now have a threat on their hands that may be more than they can handle. 40 hours after the outbreak occurred, it didn't take long for the numbers to begin multiplying. The cities that were turned into an infertile prison for humanity became a contaminated zone for the new form of rabies to emerge and multiply, droves of infected individuals running towards the Combine forces in an endless pursuit. For every infected that was put down, more soldiers were wiped out in the effort to do so. And these are beta Combine forces that we're also talking about, the elite variants, and even they're going through hell right now. The Metro police forces are also thrown into the grinder to try and contain this new infection, but it doesn't seem to be working too well. This new threat is out for everyone. All forms of life are fair game when it comes to Xen Rabies. The footage seen in the creators' videos are just detailing the footage seen from the Combine's perspective mostly. We haven't really seen just how far it goes for the rebel forces and the surviving citizens in the cities. And it's also possible that there are also outside forces that are monitoring the virus's spread more than likely. In the Half-Life games, a lot of the events are often manipulated and controlled by entities like G-Man and the beings that he works for. It's hard to say for certain if they have any connection with the virus itself, but then there's another thing to ponder too. What were the people in the lab doing with the rabies virus before the invasion started? I know I'm reaching here a little bit, but that's what's great about this universe. The universe of Half-Life, that is. It gives you so much room to explore new ideas, create new concepts and possibilities that generate new stories. Because of the multi-dimensional aspects of Half-Life and its acknowledgement of other universes, new content can always be created no matter what. If you wanted to, you could spin that this story is actually an alternate universe, an alternate setting of Half-Life where the Combine invasion still occurred and went as it did in the canon timeline, but a horrific viral outbreak was also unleashed at the same time. HYPERBOREA's idea of Xen Rabies, when I watched it, gave me the idea of exploring the fan-fictional creations of, other games, as well as the universe of Half-Life. A universe that's very flexible in terms of, allowing new concepts and stories to exist in said universe. Just look at Portal, for instance, an official game by Valve that's set in the same world but is so detached from what's going on in Half-Life that it can still be its own thing, even though it is technically a Half-Life game as well. You can do alternate settings, new universes, or even isolated stories within the canon timeline too. Stuff like this is part of what makes Half-Life 2 an amazing game, as well as the source engine and its modding capabilities. I look forward to doing more content like this in the future and also have other things I would like to talk about as well. Definitely check the channel out if you're just looking for more animation or short films, found footage kind of stuff, or just fan-made creations within the Half-Life universe. Also, I haven't mentioned it yet, but there are also the head crabs to worry about because they're still around, and I wonder how the head crabs and the Xen Rabies virus will turn out together. Thanks for watching.